Hello, YouTube. This is the Gentleman Scholar. The snow is falling outside. Finally, our first real snow fall of the new year, of the winter, actually. Give me one moment. Come on. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I have the lighter handy right here. Felt like being a hobbit today. I don't know how this is going to come off because it doesn't seem to want to ignite. Maybe I packed it too tight. Anyway, I'm here for one reason only. I've been kind of wondering how to do this. Once upon a time, I met a gentleman named Charlie Lame Deer on Facebook. And he let me know that he was an inveterate letter writer. Hey, shoot me your address. I'll send you a letter. Hey, no problem. I'm an avid letter writer myself. And so I gave him my address. Sure, I'll shoot you a letter. And no sooner did I do that, within a week, the first letter came. Beg pardon? I don't know if this is going to work this time. Anyway, Charlie brought down one of his letters. His name was Charlie Lame Deer. And he wrote, we kept up a correspondence going for about 5 years. And you can see my my ink blot on the back there, trying to get the pen to write. Charlie was a fountain pen nerd, fountain pen fanatic. In fact, many of his misses in his letter would go on to describe his favorite pens, which ones feathered on the paper, or which ones didn't, etc. so on. Charlie was a very gentle soul, and he lived on the periphery of society. I'm speaking in the past tense because Charlie Lame Deer passed away just before the new year. I found out from 2 a.m. pipe on the patio, onion, much to my surprise. Didn't surprise me, though, because his letters over, like, say, the last year, this might have even been the last one, started getting less and less frequent, and they started trickling to a halt. And, of course, at first you think, is it me? Did I do something wrong? But his later letters indicated some health problems. And Charlie, like I said, lived on the periphery of society. This is what one of his letters looked like. And I love the fact that when you got them, they smelled of tea and pipe tobacco. Because there's nothing he loved better more than to drink his tea, smoke his pipe, and write letters. I'm not kidding. He must have had dozens of correspondence. Dozens. And he must have wrote every month. He must have written dozens of letters. But he lived, as far as what I've been able to glean from letters, he lived in a those equipment shacks that you can get from Safeway? Not Safeway. Forget the name of the company. But it looks sort of like a house, but inside it's supposed to house your lawnmower, your rakes, that kind of thing, an equipment shed. He lived in one of those, and on a friend's property, I believe, he rent free, and he warmed the thing by wood stove, and he had some electricity running out from the main house, so he could play his computer, and probably had some rudimentary lighting as he drank his tea, smoked his pipes, and he wrote his letters. And I don't know, I have to admit, I was pretty sad to hear that he had passed, because I don't know, I mean, I never met him in person, But I have to have at least about 100 letters up in my disaster of a spare room upstairs from him. And I believe he was Buddhist or Hindu. All of his letters began with the greeting, Namaste. Oh, that's Hindu. Namaste. I have no idea how to pronounce this. His letters were long, rambling stream of consciousness affairs. And you just kind of had. I didn't read them right away when I got them because you had to get into the mood, into the right mindset to read a Charlie Lame Deer letter, because his thoughts would go everywhere. They would just go. I mean, I honestly think when he sent you a letter, he was mirroring his own current thought process. And then he'd finish a letter, he'd let them stack up, and then he'd write his next letter to the next person. And Charlie was truly a genuine soul, a truly unique soul. He wore kilts. He was a big, stocky dude, had a beard. He wore a bunnet. I call this a bunnet because I love Scotland. I wish I'd been born a Scotsman, so this is a bunnet to me. He wore his own bunnet. One of the first pictures I ever had from him on Facebook was him in his bunnet writing a letter. And he had like a lap box, a lap desk where he kept his pens and his paper, and he just took out his paper and he would write his letters, drinking his tea and smoking his pipe. Had a dog too. And he seemed like a happy sort. That's the way he lived his life. So when the letters trickle to a halt, of course you suspect something's wrong, but you don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about someone passing away. But that's exactly what happened. I don't know exactly how old he was, but he was a very important part of my life. Even though I never got to meet him in person, I got to meet him through this. And he's been on my mind for the past week. I'm going to miss him. Charlie Lame Deer, pipe smoking in general. He made my life better. He enriched my life in his own little way, in his own big way. He made me a better person. In fact, his first letters came with wax seal, I guess, to kind of like induct me into his letter writing club. I still have one of them, and I've seen those on American Stationery. It's this catalog you get for letter writers and everything, like all these different kinds of stationery, address labels, and everything else. And they even sell a little kit with the wax sticks, and you melt them and you put them down there. And you even have your own seal. And on that seal, he had the Om symbol from Hinduism. And I was amazed to get it. I was very happy to get it. And I don't know. I really wish I could resurrect the art of letter writing, because I don't know, it forces you to slow down, much like smoking a pipe does. It forces you to slow down, forces you to go through your thoughts. I hate the phone because you feel like you're trapped. You're not really there. You're ticking off things you want to catch up on. You can't let your mind wander, and your mind wanders. It wanders down to your writing hand, to your pen, and you just write. And then you mail it off and send out a letter. I don't know. I don't want to know how much postage Charlie must have went through in a year. Hello? I don't even want to think about how much I go through in a year. Some of you got my Christmas cards. Some of you are on my Christmas card list. You know that I'm a very big letter writer myself. It feels natural to me. Maybe it's because I'm a frustrated writer who's mythologizing my own life and putting it in the form of letters and sending out. But I really do think writing letters means something. It's putting something tangible, a tangible form of connection out there in the air. And it's something I learned how to do in college, because even though I only went to college like not even 70 miles away from here. It's near Worcester, Massachusetts, right next to Worcester, in Leicester, Massachusetts. It's local, but at the time I'd never been out of the house, and I had to get away from a very domineering parent. I had to really sever those chains, those apron chains. So it felt like I was going to school on Venus, Pluto. And letter writing became a way for me to maintain ties. This was before the internet became a really big thing. I think, yeah, before it became mainstream. I don't think it was even really officially introduced to the general public yet. But anyway, that's how I kept in touch with people back home, was through letters. Also through flight attendant training. I wrote letters when I was done studying, so that kept me going. So I don't know. I kind of wish that would come back in a way. But I get it. Not everyone likes to write. Some people quit school. They left their writing in school. I don't blame them for that, because for a lot of people, reading and writing is work. It's just something you don't like to do. But yeah, I still email. I still do social media, but letter writing is the core of my communication. And I hate to use this term, my love language, in a way, in the sense that if I really want to get to know you as a friend and establish some kind of friendship, I'll send you a letter. And I don't expect people to write back. In fact, quite a lot of people don't write back, and I get it, because they're not letter writers, or they intend to, and life gets in the way. I understand that. Hell, I don't expect people to write letters back to me, but I'm very happy when at least it gets acknowledged on social media, because at least I'm not doing this for nothing. This letter made some sort of impression in your life. That's all I really want to know. I guess that's all my ego needs. Anyway, I'm waffling. I failed with this pipe smoke. This is a beautiful meerschaum I got in deference to, inspired by Thomas Kallheim, the very Hobbit-like Swedish pipe smoker, and I say Hobbit in a very good way. He hasn't done a video for a while, so I hope to see him. He likes to fish. Very Swedish, nice guy. And that's all I've got to say. I'm going on 13 minutes, so I'm going to call it off. I wish you a very happy New Year, and we'll speak to you folks soon. And all the best. Cheers. Wish I was born a Scotsman. I also wish I was a Hobbit, too. All the best.